From the roar of artillery to the accuracy of guided munitions, India Today's Gaurav Sawant reports from the front lines where the might of India's military is on full display. India Today's Gaurav Sawant is reporting from a forward post facing Pakistan. He's showcasing India's military might from air defense capabilities to cutting-edge technology and also physical firepower. Take a look at this report.
India's air defense grid that ensured the Pakistani drone attack, their missiles, their unmanned combat aerial vehicles could not penetrate and target our vital assets and vital points. That right behind me is the Akash surface-to-air missile defense system. Its radars can look at the enemy more than 150 kilometers away and it can kill an incoming threat about 25 to 30 kilometers away. There's a longer range Akash that's in the works, and with me is the Akash battery commander. Sir, how are you?
Hi, very good.
It's very good. So I see your radars are still on very clearly. You can't trust the adversary even now in this situation.
Not at all, actually.
So how bad, how challenging is the situation right now?
The equipment that I'm holding, it is indigenous and it's very sophisticated. So with this piece of equipment, you are much more confident whenever it is. So in this Ops Sindhu, we have operated in all realms and we have tracked all the enemy aircrafts that we have seen, and my adversary knows better than that. I mean, they'll be knowing what
well done.
We have done.
Absolutely, the adversary knows the challenges. Let me now take you to the other system that's right here, and this is actually how Indian innovation has kept India a step ahead. So this is the Zu-23 ACAC gun or anti-aircraft gun. Now, very potent, very rapid rate of fire. 23 millimeters is the ammunition and can take out a target between 2.5 to 3 kilometers away. But if you notice the battery commander, sir, you're also holding an infantry weapon. That's a SIG sword that you're holding.
Yes, sir.
Why an infantry weapon with an with a gunner officer, AAD officer?
Because in this dynamic counter-UAS grid, we have been unconventionally deployed for certain tasks where we require certain weapons to increase our maximum range and lethal capacity.
Very interesting. Now let me de-jargonize it. Anti-aircraft gun usually deployed a little in the depth area, but these are mounted on 4x4 Tatra trucks taken right up to the international border for multiple roles, not just taking down an incoming threat, surface to air, an anti-aircraft take out the enemy drones at 2.5 kilometers away or more, but also direct firing role, you can be deployed to take out some of his.
As of now, sir, we are employed in counter-UAS grid and ready for the conventional role. But if required in future, we can undertake certain tasks on the orders of hierarchy.
Brilliant. Let me, for the benefit of our viewers, while you see that ammunition, 900 rounds of those, let me quickly take you up and show you some of this equipment. Come, I want to show you this weapon and the system that is here. Now, this anti-aircraft gun, 2.5 kilometers is the range. It's a team of 5 that operates it, and it can rotate in every direction. ये कितना 2.5 किलोमीटर दूर तक टारगेट को मार सकती है?
यस सर, 2.5 से 3 किलोमीटर दूर तक टारगेट को मार सकती है सर।
और आपके पास तो किल भी रहा है ऑप्शन सिंदूर में।
जी सर, ऑप्शन सिंदूर में हमने मकौल में था, वहाँ पे हम 3 से 4 ड्रोन गिराया है और वहाँ पे हम डिप्लॉयड था।
बहुत बधाई आपको, ड्रोन आप गिरा चुके हैं और ये टीम यहाँ पर तैनात है। इनमें जो देखिए, ये जो साइट है ना, ये जो दुश्मन है उसको जो आप पर थ्रेट आ रहा है, द इनकमिंग थ्रेट कैन बी सीन सम डिस्टेंस अवे. So these soldiers are prepared. The team leader then tasks them. This Tatra truck, if you notice, it's welded, modified and welded to the chassis of this weapon, of this truck. So it can move very rapidly from one place to the other. Very mobile, very lethal and accurate. And that's the second ACAC gun deployed right there. So of 8 people simultaneously can take down the threat, and look at that. 900 rounds and more ready to kill, including the tracer resistor. Now go to the next target. I also want to now show you the other anti-aircraft gun, and as you can see, this gun can fire once again in every direction, rotate very rapidly, fire more than 2,200 rounds simultaneously, and this is the first gun that had a kill during operations. ये जो ऑपरेशन रहा, सबसे पहला किल आप ही का था?
सर, पहला फायर हमने ओपन किया था और पहला ही ड्रोन हमने मार गिराया था सर।
तो और ये 2.5 से 3 किलोमीटर
2.5 से 3 किलोमीटर किसी भी टारगेट को मार के गाने में सक्षम है और हमने अभी तक इस गन से 4 ड्रोन गिराए हैं।
4 ड्रोन आपने भी गिराए
जी,
हैं।
जी।
So couple of drones dropped by that team, couple of drones dropped by this team. Their ammunition on the standby, as you can notice here. And as we rapidly move forward, now that is the kind of systems that are used very extensively in this area. That is the L-70 gun. As warfare advances, the army was actually thinking that they would be acquiring more and more missiles. They would be moving forward, but with unmanned aerial vehicles and unmanned combat aerial vehicles, these older weapons of the 1970s are once again making a comeback. So this L-70 again has a rapid rate of fire, can rotate in every direction. It has 40 mm ammunition. It has fires very rapidly, and if you notice, locked and loaded to kill. For point defense of vital assets and vital points, airports, ammunition dumps, military garrisons, were there for the protection of these assets. And I want you to look at this. This is the Turkish Yiha drone. A lot was spoken of this, that along with the Bayraktar TB2, these were the new drones, composite material, a lot of wood. Look at it inside. That is how they try and make it lighter. A lot of information will come out, and that's the engine. So this drone was taken down, burnt completely. There you see a part of the wing of that drone. Very light, but now destroyed. The army is not very impressed with the Turkish drones. They're not very impressed with the Chinese drones either. It's more like Uchi Dukan Phike Pakwan is a saying in Hindi. This, of course, are pieces of that Fateh missile that was fired, that rocket that was fired at a strategic target. But the Sudarshan Chakra of the air defense system was successful in neutralizing that too.
And Gaurav Sawant showcases the ZU-23 and L-70 air defense guns, which are used extensively to protect air bases and ammunition depots. Gaurav is also showing the ZU-23 anti-aircraft gun, which is mounted on a Tatra truck. Now, this combination enhances speed and mobility. He also spoke with a lady officer who defended a critical airfield. Take a look.
In the Israel versus Hamas war, Hamas would send swarm drones and make Israel spend a lot of money firing their expensive missiles costing millions of dollars. But here, the Indian army is a step ahead. Now, just for some drones costing a couple of $100 or $1,000, you wouldn't want to spend missiles that cost lakhs and lakhs of rupees. That is why those ZU-23 and this L-70 becomes the weapon of choice. Relatively inexpensive ammunition that you are making in India. Hopefully you'll also be making these guns in India. It's relatively cheaper to take down a drone that costs a couple of $1,000. And this is where you stay a step ahead of the adversary. Modernize, improve, innovate, and stay a couple of steps ahead to ensure that terrorism is no longer a low-cost option for the adversary. Now, if you have to fire a BrahMos and take down his air bases, airfields, vital assets and vital points, and most important, the prestige of the Pakistani armed forces that was devastated and decimated in Operation Sindoor. With cameraman Sanjay Kumar at the western border in Punjab, Gaurav Sawant for India Today. The L-70 gun behind us played a very crucial role in the point defense of a strategic location that Pakistan desperately tried to target, and it is my proud privilege to be with the major, and for security reasons we unfortunately cannot name her till army officially does. Ma'am, congratulations, you've done a stellar job in protecting that vital asset.
Thank you so much, thanks.
And tell us more about the threat and how you engaged it.
During Operation Sindoor, I was deployed at a vital airfield, and I was commanding an air defense battery who was giving that air defense protection to that vital airfield. On the intervening night of 7th and 8th, and on 8th night as well, the enemy attempted to overwhelm our airspace with a large number of drones from multiple directions. but our L-70 guns were ready and they roared to neutralize the enemy threat. But again on 9th night and 10th morning, they attacked us with unmanned combat aerial vehicles, which were armed with lethal payloads, and they executed very complex maneuvers over all our section locations and tried to engage our troops. But our gunners, they held their ground and they displayed exemplary courage in the face of the enemy, and they shoot all of them one by one. This entire operation was a resounding success, and with no damage to the assets, no casualties. And being an air defense gunners, we are proud to live up to the motto of Akashe Shatru Jahi.
Absolutely. Akashe Shatru na jahi. No enemy in the skies, and you don't permit any enemy in the sky. So, to go back, the enemy that came in, were these only drones, or was it even more lethal than unmanned combat aerial vehicles?
Yes, these were drones as well as unmanned combat aerial vehicles, and some of them were standoff weapons also. But guns were ready, and we were always prepared for this thing. That this time, as we have seen in various conflicts that are going all across the globe, we were aware that, and it was envisaged that enemy might use these drones and unmanned combat aerial vehicles. So we had refined our tactics, procedures as per that, and we have trained our troops accordingly.
And your radars and that integration of your radars, that actually is a game changer, isn't it, ma'am?
Yes, yes. As we were deployed along with the Air Force, so we got that information from Air Force as well as Army radars that what enemy assets are in the air. And we got their location, approximate direction and distance. That I passed to my troops. They executed it and they engaged the target bang on.
There's a saying in English, to be forewarned is to be forearmed, and that's exactly the advantage with India's integrated air defense command and control system, because you can see the enemy drones while they take off from their territory, and gives you even a couple of minutes more, makes all the difference between success and lack of success.
Exactly. Sometimes it's not even minutes. Sometimes it's only few seconds. But we are always ready, and as I told you that we live up to the motto of Akasha Shatru Jahi, so we will never leave the enemy.
We will never leave the enemy, and perhaps this is not just the motto of Indian Army's air defense, but of the country today. With cameraman Sanjay Kumar at the Punjab border, Gaurav Sawant for India Today. भारतीय सेना के एयर डिफेंस की L-70 गन, ये जमीन से हवा में मार करने वाली गन है, और आमतौर से आपकी सिखलाई तो विमानों को गिराने की होती है, इनकमिंग विमानों को, लेकिन इस बार आपका तो लक्ष्य ड्रोन थे या यूएवी थे, यूकैव?
ड्रोन, यूएवी और कैब तीनों थे साहब। इस बार
कितना कठिन था मिशन? नहीं
साहब, हमारे लिए तो था, मजा था।
मजा था?
हाँ साहब, हमने खूब एंजॉय से उनको गिराया। हमारा काम सारे है दुश्मन को अंदर नहीं आना देना, और हमने वो मुद्दा हासिल कर लिया। मेरा सर 17 साल की नौकरी में पहली बार मैंने दुश्मन के ऊपर डायरेक्ट फायर किया।
क्या बात है।
और डायरेक्ट फायर में मैंने मौका मिलते ही दुश्मन के यूएवी, कैब्स और ड्रोन को मार गिराया। और मेरे को आज एहसास हो रहा है सर, ट्रेनिंग में जो मैंने पसीना बहाया वो युद्ध काल में खून को बचाता है।
ये बात तो है
जी साहब,
ये बात तो है। अच्छा, इसमें आप काफी दूर से ही दुश्मन के ड्रोन को अंदर आते देखते, क्योंकि वो तो एक दो नहीं, वो तो कई 100 एक साथ आए।
एक साथ आते हैं सर, दूर से।
आपको फिर उस समय टेंशन नहीं होता कि वो आपके ऊपर बम गिरा सकता है?
नहीं सर, हम दूर से एंगेज कर लेते हैं, बगल वाली गन है वो पीछे वाले को करके इसमें आपस में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हुआ जाता है हमारा।
करेक्ट।
हाँ जी सर।
तो आप एक बार में कितनी बंदूकों को टारगेट कर सकते, कितने ड्रोन को टारगेट कर सकते?
हम 1 सेकंड में 3 टारगेट को बर्बाद कर सकते हैं।
क्या बात है सर, 17 साल में पहली बार दुश्मन के ड्रोन को गिराया, मजा आ गया। आपका ये अनुभव कैसा था?
मैं नायब शुदा सोलंकी हिम्मत सिंह, मैं पिछले 25 सालों से इस L-70 गन के ऊपर कार्यरत हूँ, हैंडलिंग करता हूँ, जिसके ऊपर समय समय के साथ बहुत सारे बदलाव हुए। जैसे शुरुआत के अंदर ये गन 240 राउंड पर मिनट फायर करती थी। अभी आफ्टर मॉडिफिकेशन के अंदर L-70 गन पिछले 300 राउंड पर मिनट फायर करती है। दुश्मन के हर एक जहाज और एयरक्राफ्ट, ड्रोन को मार गिराने में बहुत कार्यरत है।
तो आपको मतलब उस समय मजा आ रहा था जब वो ड्रोन काफी सारे आ रहे थे, वो टिमटिमाती लाइटें रात में, और आप मतलब निशाना लेके?
यस सर, मेरे पीछे से हमारे RCP, CP, वहां से मैसेज ऑलरेडी हमारे अर्ली मॉर्निंग में मिल जाती थी, और वहां से CO साहब बैटरी कमांडर साहब हमें मैसेज पास करते थे। हमारे ओपी बैठा हुआ जो ओपी ऑपरेटर था वो मुझे पास करता था कि साहब आप हमारे इस नॉर्थ वेस्ट की तरफ से 10 ड्रोन्स या ड्रोन्स आ रहे हैं, यूएवी कैप्स आ रहे हैं, उसको हम एंगेज करते थे। लीडिंग जो हमारा टारगेट था यूएवी या यूकेप था, उसको हम एंगेज करने के बाद हम शुरुआती जो बेसिस पे पहला अटैक था उनको हम अटैक करते थे और उनको मार गिरने में बहुत सारा हमारा यूनिट का सक्षम रही है।
और यही इस L-70 की बहुत जबरदस्त अचीवमेंट रही है कि मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजी में आप वैसे तो बहुत सरफेस टू एयर मिसाइल्स भी खरीद रहे हैं और लंबी दूरी तक मार करने वाले हथियार भी, लेकिन अगर दुश्मन सस्ते सस्ते ड्रोन भेजेगा तो उसके लिए आप करोड़ों रुपए की मिसाइल तो नहीं जाया करेंगे। इसीलिए चाहे वो ZU-23 गन हो या ये L-70 मॉडिफिकेशन के बाद इसकी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका बन जाती है। कैमरामैन संजय कुमार के साथ गौरव सावंत, पंजाब सीमा पर आज तक।
And Gaurav Sawant also showcases India's air defense systems. He spoke with the team behind the Akash air defense system. Take a look.
The Sam Pichoras, the Tungushkas, the Akash systems and the S-400s, the entire air defense system is now integrated. That's the Akash Tir, the Akash Tir system there. It's a radar that the radar system that sees all the incoming threats and then directs these guns. They can fire in multiple modes, directly from the command post, the hybrid mode and also the direct mode in this team. This is part of India's integrated air defense command and control system. Every airport, every vital asset, every vital point. Soft kills and hard kills. I've shown you some of the hard kill methods. There are the soft kill methods that are also on deployed here. Those are jammers. There are sensors, there are radars. They look at the threat as the threat comes in and jams those drones. The moment the soft kill neutralizes that system or jams that system, it can neither relay any information nor does it get a command. That's when the hard kill is used to take the threat down. It's a process where you're learning every day. The enemy is trying to stay ahead of you, but then you're trying to stay 2 steps ahead. And that is why investment in protection of your bases, in protection of your vital assets and points, investment in made in India technology and making it in India is extremely important. Because that beggar state Pakistan will always, with a begging bowl, go either to a Turkey or a China or anywhere with a begging bowl to buy those weapons of war. But then with your pride, with your self-respect, with made in India weapons, you'll be able to take him down and ensure that terror is no longer a low-cost option for that radical Islamist state sponsor of terror. With cameraman Sanjay Kumar at the borders in Western India, Gaurav Sawant for India Today. The Akash surface-to-air missiles. We are with the Army Air Defence with an Akash missile behind us and the major here, big smile on his face. What was your experience like during Operation Sindoor?
Experience was amazing. This is the first time there was seamless integration between Air Force and Army, and the way future operations are going to happen, it was a very good experience because we could do everything, we achieved everything, whatever we wanted to do.
Now, from a ZU-23 to Akash to S-400, all in the same battlefield and all, I'm told, used in the same battlefield. What kind of an experience is this and what does it say about the nature of the battle?
Actually, the nature, if you talk about the nature of the battle, right here, this is a very important asset that we are standing. So from here, we can see deep into enemy territory. Right. So as per the capability of the equipment, we use all our assets, whatever we had. For a longer range, we had a longer range weapon. And for at the terminal end, we had a ZU and L-70. I mean, amazing.
And it's almost like, you know, you are being called the Rahul Dravid of India's defense, the wall that Pakistanis could not, penetrate. If you were to tell me, from this end of Pakistan border to the other end of Pakistan border, you can see anything that takes off?
Any aerial activity that is happening in my adversary's area, then we can just seamlessly we can just see it. There is no issues.
seamlessly see it and take it down.
Exactly. We take it down when once it is within our range. But we can see whatever activities they're carrying out, we can see that.
So this is how India's radars, and that is why Made in India equipment is also extremely important. Made in India radars and Made in India missiles like the Akash just behind us play a very critical role in the battlefield. It's had a very critical role in Operation Sindoor. With cameraman Sanjay Kumar at the Punjab border in Western India, Gaurav Sawant for India Today. Battlefield transparency is a battle-winning factor, and right behind me is the much talked about, though in a way a secret of the Indian Armed Forces, the Akash Tir system. It's made in India secret because while Akash Tir is talked about, what does it look like from within? What does it entail? Has never been seen, and that too in battle. And with me is a third generation Army Air Defence officer, grandfather in air defence, father in air defence. He himself is in the air defence. So defending our skies is in your blood, it's in your DNA.
Yes, sir. I can say that. Proudly, I can say that defending our skies is what we live by. And every time we walk out in the open, our eyes are towards the sky. We are looking for you.
We're looking for the adversary at all times and looking out for our own people. But tell me this, how does the Akash Tir system work?
Akash Tir system is a system of systems. It has integrated whatever sensors we are holding as on date in our defense forces and whatever weapons are there. We have integrated all those sensors, their feed which is coming to us, and that feed is provided in the real time to the weapon end, wherein the AD troops deployed with the weapon end, they can effectively engage, and their reaction capabilities have been many folds increased, wherein the reaction time, which earlier was quite high, has been reduced almost 10 times by, as per the induction of this Akash Tir equipment.
So tell me this, you can look at a UAV, a UCAV, a fighter jet, a rocket, a missile, every kind of incoming threat?
Anything what is getting airborne, even in my neighbor's place, and whatever is in my airspace, we have a real-time information of what is in the air, and it is identified also.
And then these are the command and control nodes from where you decide what equipment will be used to take it down?
Yes, definitely, just to ensure the cost effectiveness and the economy of effort. This is where we take that decision, where we decide what is the vector which will be utilizing for engagement, whether it will be a ammunition or a missile system.
Very interesting. So whether it will be your Zu-23s or your L-70s, or whether it will be a soft kill and then hard kill, yes, you decide at this command control.
Yes, sir, definitely.
I've seen the inside of this place and it's very, very fascinating. We would love to show it to you, but because we are right in the middle of operations. So operations are still on. There are charts, maps that are marked. There are computer screens that are marked. Own territory, enemy territory, own assets, enemy assets, and where they are, from where can they be launched. So all of this, you have it on your fingertips here.
Yes, sir, we have that, and I warn them again, please behave.
And with such a sweet smile. Now, when somebody warns the enemy with such a sweet smile, it's a lethal warning. You stay away for your own good. Major, for joining me here on India Today, many thanks.
Thank you, sir.
With cameraman Sanjay Kumar, Gaurav Sawant at the Punjab border for India Today.
Gaurav Sawant also brings us individual stories of unparalleled valor from the battlefield. You'll also hear from the officer who shot down Turkish drones and the team that successfully destroyed Turkish ammunition. Take a look.
So we are currently with the team of Army's Air Defence and the team that took down this Yeha drone made in Turkey. And with me is the young captain who was leading that team that brought down the drone. How live was the threat? How close was it to our strategic asset?
On 10th May around 4 early in the morning, we received an early warning of a possible enemy raid at the airfield. So I rushed to the gun location and we could see an UCAV approaching the runway straight forward. So while our gunners were laying on the UCAV, we heard a series of blasts, and one of those blasts occurred just 500 meters behind the gun location. Undeterred by enemy attacks, our gunners laid on the target very accurately, and the target was shot down with minimum use of ammunition. And the wreckage of the UCAV which was shot down can be seen laid out here.
So this is that Yeeha drone made in Turkey. That's the engine, that's the UCAV, and apparently it had 10 kgs of payload of explosives. Had that detonated, what would have been the damage on ground?
If this is actually a loitering munition. If it hits the runway, it was carrying a warhead of 10 kgs. If it would have hit the runway, major damage would have occurred to the runway. But with our accurate laying on the UCAV, it was destroyed in the air itself. And we lived up to our motto, that is Akase Shatrunjai, destroying the enemy aerial activity in air itself.
And that's exactly what our warriors are doing 24/7, 365 days a year. A major reason why Pakistan's attacks did not succeed is because our offensive and defensive maneuvers were both not just a step, but several generations ahead of the adversary. With cameraman Sanjay Kumar at the Punjab border, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.
Gaurav Sawant also spoke with Corps Commander Lieutenant General Rajan Sherawat, who busted the myth surrounding Turkish and Pakistani drones. He revealed that the army hit 7 out of 9 terror targets in Pakistan. Additionally, he discussed the layered integrated air defense warfare system and soft kills. Take a look.
With me is Lieutenant General Rajan Sherawat, the co-commander of the Rising Star Corps. Sir, congratulations on Operation Sindoor.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Sir, your assessment of the biggest achievement of the armed forces in Operation Sindoor.
Well, Gaurav, I think the biggest achievement is there for everybody to see. The Indian armed forces, I think, have established a new normal with our Western adversary and Western neighbor. I think never has it happened before in history that we have been able to hit 9 targets, and out of these 9 targets, 4 of them in the Pak, Punjab, which is the heartland, which is the center of gravity of the proxy war infrastructure that Pakistan has created. And out of these 9 targets that were hit across the international border, 7 of them were done by the Indian Army itself. Out of the 7 which were done by the Indian Army, I can state this, 2 of them were opposite the Rising Star Corps. And these, mind you, these targeting was precise, measured, non-escalatory in nature. And we had hoped that the message would be driven home loud and clear to our adversary.
And this, you're just talking about the first wave where India only targeted terror headquarters and bases in Pakistan. The fact that there were terror bases that were targeted in Pakistan's Punjab province, that's a very big signal. Is such a big signal, was it sent out the first time in this way?
Generally, I think our Pakistan was expecting that we would hit him across the line of control, which he was anticipating as we had done in maybe during the Uri surgical strikes and in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa when we had hit Balakot. But this time we had undertaken this resolve, and will of the nation was with us to hit the terror infrastructure in the Pak heartland. And I think it is the first time it is happening that we have gone so deep and hit him where we wanted to hit. So I think the message which has gone around very loud and clear is that the Indian Armed Forces and the Indian Army, they have the will, resolve and the capacity and the military superiority and the technical know-how to hit the terror infrastructure wherever it may be.
So you can hit him in Pakistan's Punjab province. You can hit not just terrorists, but even the Pakistan army. Our army hit Pakistan army. That's that big thing wherever you wanted.
Well, to begin with, as a response to Pahalgam, we never intended to hit Pakistan army. We had only wanted to hit terror infrastructure, and that was the only aim. And we ensured that there was no collateral damage in the initial 9 strikes. Yes. But after that, we had hoped that Pakistan would see the reason and would not retaliate and hit us. But much to our dismay, and I think as expected by most of us, he hit our civilian population and some military installations also. He attempted hitting it. But I think our proactive nature, our dynamism of our deployment made sure that all these infrastructure, including 2 air bases that the Army Air Defence was able to defend very successfully. And we made sure that none of his drone strikes, none of his missile strikes came into any of our bases.
Isn't that one of the biggest success stories, sir? That Pakistan, which apparently has a lot of unmanned aerial vehicles and unmanned combat aerial vehicles, could not hit your air bases or even your sensitive military installations?
I think the results speak for themselves. Today, if any hit had taken place, I'm sure Pakistan would have taken out a satellite image of a before strike and after strike. There is none, like we have done after our strikes. There is none for Pakistan to show. And it only shows that all his drones and missiles that he fired at us, they were either handled by a soft kill mechanism or a hard kill mechanism. And this combination worked very well for us because, as I said, right from the army headquarters downwards, the strategic guidance that I was getting, we made sure that we had thought through of all contingencies so that we could checkmate him.
And you knew that when you're hitting 9 terror camps, including, when the Indian Armed Forces were hitting Bahawalpur and Muridke for the first time ever, the army would react, the Pakistan army would react. What had you anticipated, if I may, his reaction to be?
See, we had anticipated that he might hit our air bases in the depths, our military garrisons in the depth areas, and you have gone through the Rising Star Corps area, our garrisons are pretty forward. So we had anticipated that, and we had made our deployments accordingly to cater for this contingency. Along the IB, we had anticipated that he might target our posts, so we had plans for that. As and when he violated the ceasefire along the international border, I think as per our plans, we responded and reduced the post to ground, which you have seen for yourself as you have travelled through the Rising Star Corps. Also, certain targets were hit in operational and tactical depth to drive home again the lesson to him of the futility of escalating. And that is how I think we could manage the whole operational environment.